Right, hey, good evening everybody. Welcome to Thursday night. My name's Alan Patterson. You're joining me here with Raceface.Pro. And we're in Germany this evening. We're at Nurburgring. And we are bringing you the second last round of Season 9 of the GT3 Championship. Just started qualifying. Here we are. We're at the awesome Nurburgring, the GP circuit, home to the Nordschleife as well. Clockwise circuit. Not much I can say about it except really tricky track, driver's track. So you've got to have you got to be on your game to get around here quickly. And yeah, these guys will be getting on it really quickly based on what we saw last night in the sprint series. Quick coverage of the points positions. Here we can see a new leader in the drivers' standings, Kieran Patterson for PWSR up at first place. He has gone past Jordan Sherritt, who has been absent for the past two races and possibly tonight as well. I'm not sure if he's here or if the team's here, but there we go. Ryan Otten's not too far back in third place. Morgan McCall for ATK Academy fourth, and JW Volkskank rounding out your top five, also for PWSR Bravo. Your team standings: Hybrid Academy up at the top end now. GTWR, who, as I said, haven't been here for 2 or 3 races, residing in second. PWSR Alpha and PWSR Bravo close behind in third and fourth. And Hawks Flying Squad, the Roses, they're in top 5. So a good result there. They've just gone past 80k with only one driver scoring for 80k, being Morgs. But nonetheless, it's all go. All right, good. Here we go. We are currently just under 19 minutes to go, 18 and a half minutes. JW Volkskank just goes up into pole in the BMW PWSR Bravo team car. Morgan is right there. We were watching him, well, I was watching him just now. And he will shuffle this Mercedes round here really quickly. I think last night I saw 53s, 1 minute 53s as quick times round Nurbs. So I seriously struggle here. In fact, I think I might have even seen 52s. I'm not 100% sure. I can't remember. But yeah, this is going to be a really hot pace this evening. We should see all the usual suspects up at the sharp end there, and hopefully there's no Eskom load shedding, so all the teams should stay connected, and we should get through this 80-minute race without any problems. Keep in mind, this is part of the championship series, so it does have a compulsory pit stop, and that pit stop needs to be taken anytime. So we see alternating strategies here. Some guys run 50-50, some guys run 30-70, 40-60. It's all a mix and match. So overcuts, undercuts, it depends on whether you're running in traffic or if you've got damage. But we will see some variable pit strategies this evening. Hey to everybody on the YouTube channel, thanks for joining me. Bertus the man, he's there, glad to see him. Christian Deploy, how's it, buddy? Sean Prinsloo beat everyone to it this evening. Hello Morgan. No, that should be Rob there, unless it's, you know, can't be Morgs. He's got to be driving, but anyway. Grant Tabby here, and yeah, let's see what happens this evening. Round 7 of 8 rounds, so we've got this. And I'll let you in on a secret while I just go and check quickly. Last round, which will, I did say it earlier in the season, last round next week will be Silverstone. That's where we'll be ending the Season 9 championship off. So, there we go. Yeah, hey Rob, how's it, man? Right, let's see what's happening as far as times go. Justin Lotus for Hybrid Academy, he's currently up, although he's just dropped off now. Gideon Renner, here he is for KSR Vibe Marsh. He's currently up almost half a second, and he's in the third sector on this lap. So this should give him a good lap time. Currently 1.7 off the lead time. There we go. They're into the 53s. 153.9. Morgan. Gideon Renner's a second up, so this is going to pump him right up to 6th. Should be 6th place, maybe even 5th, and it is. It's 4th. So Gideon Renner goes super quick there for KSR, and that puts him into 4th place. That last lap of his, a 154.5 on the dot. Kieran Patterson, here he is, just been bumped down to 5th, and he's currently up 3/10 at the moment. So this should put him up into 2nd place if he gets this all the way around. Also in the 3rd sector. So just this final chicane that they literally yeet through, and then the last almost hairpin onto the start-finish line, and he is carrying the time. So this should be quick. This should be a low 154, and he does in fact go 2nd. 3/10 of Morgan's pace with the big Merc, the AMG GT3 super fast round here. Brandon Kruger over the line, and he goes up into 6th place with just under 14 minutes left. Right. Just waiting for some lap times to come up and see who's on a quick. Oh, here we go. Here's my buddy Jason. He's just started a lap running a tribute livery to this Ukrainian-Russian debacle. But Jason currently 2/10 up. He's down in 19th, 2.1 seconds off the pace, which puts him at a 156.1. So he needs to get well into the 55s to get him up into the midfield, and he's carrying 2 or 3/10 at the moment. So we'll keep an eye on his time. 22 people here. Last man at the moment, Connor Alexander. Good to see him here. Also riding for PWSR. Okay, I've got it. Sorry, Christian, I just had to work that out. So Sean Prinsloo, he has P1 for the verbal chatters. So, yeah, there we go. But grand to have you here, Sean. Thanks, buddy. Mr. Barkhazen, hey, you, man. Glad to have you with us. Right, Jason through the 2nd sector. He's into the 3rd sector, and he is still a 10th up. Oh, kind of hammers the curb a bit through the chicane, but carrying the time around. Needs to keep this tight and close up to the Armco, and he does. So let's see where he goes from 20th. Not really. He does improve. Goes to a 155.9, but he stays in 20th. Right, who's on a quick lap? JW Volschenk. Here he comes into the 3rd sector, and he is carrying 1.5/10. Oh, and he runs a little bit deep through there and off track, and hammers the pit lane, and kind of did what I did last night. Right, youngster, PWSR driver Connor Alexander, and he is through the 1st sector, and he's carrying some time. Daniel De Villiers, here he's in the pink and purple and white Nissan, and he's up 2/10. It's tongue-in-cheek, eh, Sean? Don't take that any nastiness. It's all for the fun of it. Right, Daniel de Villiers half a second up, so he goes from 18th. He's going to jump up and he goes to 15th. 1.3 off the pace. McCall still up there, 53.9. Patterson 3/10 off. Volkswagen 4/10, and Hannes van Wyk doing really well. He's in 4th. Also 4/10 with Gideon Renner, half a second back. We have just on 10 minutes to go. And I'm going to leave it on Brandon Kruger while I just go and get a cold drink. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Cool, I'm back. Look at that, Hannes van Wyk, very quick, very rapid time for the Black Widow Racing Vipers team. Still struggling to get liveries out of this team, but it doesn't look like they want to get this right, so it is what it is. But Hannes well up in the top 5. He's only 1/10 off McCall, so he's certainly got a good handle on the Nurburgring track, and we'll watch how this lap goes. Dean Kabasa, how you, buddy? Grand to have you here. Yep, Tina and Kobe. Here's my man in the black and grey BMW, the M4. And Tina currently 15th, so 1.2 seconds off the leader, but going quick. He's best at 1:55.1. Sean Skitter for Racing Team Astra in the Sol Lexus, and he's just coming over the line, and he's almost up half a second. He goes from 12th up to 8th. It's a great lap by Sean Skitter. He also shuffles this Lexus around really quickly. Morgan just sitting in the pits at the moment, comfortable with a 1:53.9, although the field is getting closer. But it's a good place to be starting. Right, Mr. Ottens for Hybrid Academy ZA. And Ryan is just through the first sector. He's in the second sector. Here he comes through the Schumacher chicane, and he is up to 2.5 tenths right now. So Ryan carrying some pace. He will be able to go from here probably up into 8th place, possibly higher, 7th. The Astons seem to run very well here, as does the Mercedes. Longer wheelbase cars just run very quick. No Ferraris here this evening. No Bentleys. McLaren, 2 Porsches, BMs, a Nissan, a few McLarens, 1 Lexus, Astons, and 1 Mercedes. And there we go. Ryan Ottens up into 5th place. That was a great lap by that man. So Hybrid Academy right up there. Ryan Ottens on it. Brandon Kruger for Kinetic Sim Works. He is just going through Sector 1 into Sector 2, and he's currently... Oh no, he's dropped a bit of time there. Paul Gerber here for Team Tryhard. Yeah, he was just up a tenth or two there, but I think he's thrown it away. And there he hits the sand as well. All right, here we go. Jason Mcgregor for Hybrid Academy. Here comes another one of the hybrid Team Hybrid cars. And Jason's quick as well. He's into sector 2. He's also 3/10 up. This will take him when he gets it to the line from 12th up to possibly 8th. Five and a half minutes to go in this quali session, and then they'll be ready to go. We'll go on board and watch from the helmet view here with Jason Mcgregor. Oh, he lost 3/10 just in the second sector, so his advantage is gone. I think he's got nothing here. He's not going to improve. 12th place, he stays 12th. Track's super low temperatures, so very cool. It'll also be a challenge for the drivers to get some heat in and to keep the heat in the tires. Hannes van Beek bullying that Aston Martin through that final chicane. Position, Peter Westhuizen, another one of the BWR team teammates. No, he stays 11th for now. No one at the moment on a quick lap. Oh, I lie. Hannes van Beek, this man again for BWR. He's getting some. He's got a great setup in this Aston Martin. And this could be a surprise. I think, he gets a little squirrely out there. And as he heads down to the hairpin at the bottom end of the track. At that point, he was 2/10 up, I tell you. So that would have put him ahead of McCollum in pole. So Hannes has a really good setup under him. And I think he's going to bring the pressure this evening. I think Morgs is watching this with big eyes, and Hannes has gone down now. So first sector he definitely showed promise. He was up. He's going to be able to get round for another lap at least. So if he gets a good start to this next lap, we'll monitor and see how he goes. Brandon Kruger comes out the pits. Jason McGregor's up. He's just through sector 1, through the Mercedes complex, and now heading into sector 2. Wow, and Jason McGregor's currently 3/10 up here for hybrid. So 9/10 off. This would pick him up from 12th to 9th. 8th position possibly, if he could carry this all the way around. Jeez, and that corner alone, 3/10 went out the window right there. This goes to show how difficult. Oh, and he aborts the lap. It's such a difficult track to accumulate the time with. It's really a driver's track. It's technical. It looks easy. It is not easy. Hannes struggled coming out of the Mercedes complex. He is a 10th up, so if he hasn't gotten off track or out of bounds, this lap will count. He's right on his delta for getting a pole position. through the hairpin, now heading back up the hill into sector 2, through the chicane, Michael Schumacher chicane, little lift and then hammer it and hang on for dear life. And there's one of the Rosses, and he's aborted that lap. 40 seconds from here, he's going to have to get round quickly. And he's aborting it again. So I think that's Hannes. That's he's resigned himself to second place. He won't get out for another lap. Volskank, JW Volskank, he starts a lap, so this is going to count. He's right behind Kieran. So the PWSR boys possibly doing a little bit of a strategy run here. Maybe trying to give Volskank a bit of a tow. Don't know where it'll work on this track. Not a longish straight, but Kieran up ahead in the Aston Martin, and JW Volskank running the BMW. Kieran Patterson currently a 10th up in the Aston Martin, so let's watch him go round, because this will count. And he's 3/10 off the pace of Morgan at the moment, sitting in row 3. But he is finding some pace now, and he's pulling JW with him. Right, into the third sector they come, and JW is abandoning that lap. Daniel de Villiers also up a 10th, down in 17th place, so I will be watching him. Right, Patterson comes into the last turn. He runs a little wide round there, and I think that was his delta gone. Up until that point he was up. Stays 5th. Daniel de Villiers, here he is. Through the final sector he comes, pushing this Nissan. Oh, huge drift through there. And that puts paid to that delta time. Let's see if he picks it up through the last turn. No, he doesn't. That's gone. Right. Jason Luck in the pits. Bernard King over the line. He comes, and that's it. Morgan McCall and Hannes van Wyk will be on the front row of the grid for the 7th round, the second last round of the GT3 championship. So good, we're in for a good race. Stand by, I'm going to take you back for a opening video advert break. There we go. Awesome video. Kindly done for us by DS Films. Look at that. That's your first, second and third row. Some stunning looking cars and liveries out there. I think we're going to be in for a huge race this evening. Morgan McCall up against the pit wall. Next to him, Hannes van Beek. Then we've got JW Volskank behind Morgan McCall. They're just about to start their pace lap. And again, thanks to everybody for joining us on the YouTube channel. You're watching Raceface.Pro Season 9 of the GT3 Championship. This is round 7, the second last round of this series. Coming to you from Nurburgring. And Morgan leads them off for the formation lap. Right, let's get some chats going on the YouTube. Who do you think's coming where? Bernard Barkheisen's in for Mr. Kruger. He believes Brandon Kruger from 4th place. So he was running very well a week ago, and unfortunately had got a drive-through penalty or a stop-go, one or the other. So this track is just as tricky for getting off-track excursions. Anybody watching here that's not aware of how this works, the white line on the side of the track is the border of the track. It allows you to put 2 wheels over that line, but if you put 4 wheels over that line at speed and you don't slow down, you will incur a track penalty cut, a track cut. And if you get 3 of those, that's your last chance. One more in a 80-minute race and you will be issued with a drive-through penalty, which you then need to take, and you will lose your position on the track because going through the pits is just a nightmare. So the guys not only need to be quick, but they've got to keep the car on the racing surface, the black stuff, and not go out of bounds too often here. Christian's putting $500 down on Morgs for the win. Anybody want to take some odds there? Just putting you on the spot, old chap. Yeah, I think on this track, this definitely suits the Mercedes and the Aston Martins. So I don't know, tough call. I mean, I'd like to call my team and my drivers, but I think Morgan at the moment is a serious contender. Exactly, Sean. T1, it's 80 minutes. There's a pit stop. It's all going to happen. So it's about being clean and aggressive and smooth. All the usual words. So... Right, we shall sit on Brandon Kruger's car in 4th place as they now book themselves up and get into double file. And we'll watch the Helicam, we'll watch his car, so we'll be able to look forward and backward, and hopefully the field gets through T1. T1 Nurburgring, it is sharp, it's downhill, it's off a little bit of a stoop if you cut it too early, so it's going to be a challenge. It's all good, Christian. Gosh, those cars look awesome down there. Exceptional, outstanding liveries. All the teams have really come to the fore. Right, here we go. We're getting ready. Mr. Van Beek's a little bit of ways back. Oh, and we get drive-throughs right at the back for Luck and Gerber. Possibly out of position somehow, but oh, there's a lot of shuffling already moving around. With 3 wide going down to T1. Oh, Constantino heartbreaking. There we go. One huge just crash, boom, bang. Oh, that was just oh, and it's still going on. Old Morgs in the Merc. Well, I can see the Nissan's been turned around a bit. Morgs is getting back on the track and going. So it's he hasn't lost too much, but let's watch this again. Morg's out there. Is one of the BMs going down the inside, and oh, there's a whole concertina effect going on there. Well, we'll leave it. We'll leave it for the race stewards to resolve. Should be going live shortly. Hang in there. Hannes van Wyk into the pits. I think he's just disgusted with what happened there, and he's just aborted that lap completely. Johannes Kralen currently in second place then, or first place if Hannes van Wyk's in the pits, which he is. So Johannes Kralen currently leading. Gideon Renner in second place. JW Volsking third. Peter Oosthuizen fourth. Kieran Patterson fifth. And Morgan McCall not that far back in sixth place. So we'll just let everybody settle down. There is some racing already going on further back here. Gee, that's the BMW of Peter Oosthuizen. Kieran Patterson just behind, having a race now with Morgan McCall. And yeah, unfortunately Hannes is disconnected, so that was bad luck, man. Right, Patterson goes up the inside of the BMW of Oosthuizen. Forgot to check, he's carrying weight here. 10 kilos in Ryan Ottens' car. That's all for this evening. So here we go, a couple of pitters at the back. Pit stops getting sorted, drive-throughs getting sorted. Johannes Kralen, 1.5 seconds up the road in the BMW for Celeritas Racing. A little bit of a dark horse, this man, and has managed to keep out of the drama on the first couple of corners. So he's off and running. Gideon Renner, here he is in second place. And JW Volsking closely behind him. So it's BMW's 1, 2, 3. Then it's Kieran Patterson in the first of the Aston Martins. And Peter Oosthuizen rounds out your top 5 with Ottens and McCall right there. Back of the diffuser of the Mercedes looking a bit worse for wear due to that T1 contact. Rob confirming Morg's carrying a little bit of damage, but this man's strong and capable of running the car. Mac van der Merwe behind him in the BMW looking, but Morgs positions the Mercedes right in the middle of the corner. Right, so we're up and going in this 80 minutes. Brandon Kruger, here he is down in 9th place. Also suffering the dramas on the first couple of corners, so this will be a drive back for him. Kinetic Simworks Racing. Also stunning livery. Great effort done there by that team. Mac van der Merwe just ahead of him, and he is he's now got to soak up the pressure that's coming from Brandon Kruger. That's going to allow Morgan to get away from him and close in on the back of Ottens and Oosthuizen up ahead. Also further back, Sean Skitter, he got collected in that melee. Oh, almost wanted to send one up the inside of the McLaren there of LaRue, Gideon Renner all over the back of JW Fullscreen. JW having to run defensive into T1. Gideon comes up the side of him. Now tries to undercut. Fullscreen is going to be on the apex for T2. Oh, gets a little bit of a tank slapper, but catches it. And these three are allowing Kralin to get up the road now because they're racing for position here. I'll give you some lap times, last lap times. Johannes Kralin, a 55.7. JW 56 flat. Gideon Renner 56.6. Pedersen 55.3. Peter Westhuizen 55.4. Ottens 55.3. A lot of people in the 55, mid 55, so good race pace. Renner's flying, he's bumping. There's something wrong with his ping or the car. I think there's connection issues. Pedersen's going to have to be careful here. Gideon Renner's car doesn't look 100% on the track. And it's not me. I'm not dropping any frames. Oh dear, I think there was a bit of contact there. But Gideon's all over the track right now. Peter Westhuizen into fourth place, and Mr. Ryan Ottens right behind him now for Hybrid Academy. Christian, I agree. Peter Westhuizen's been super quick the last couple of races. Ryan Ottens right behind Gideon, Peter Westhuizen. Oh, Ryan Ottens losing control, and he comes back across the track. Hopefully he doesn't collect anyone. He has hit the brakes. Everyone misses him. Got to start the car. He hit the wall hard there. Here we see him coming around the hairpin. We'll go to the helicam, but he gets a huge tank slapper through the Schumacher SEs. Runs a little deep there, hits the sand, bounces off the curb and tries to catch it, and that's that. Oh, that was well stopped, young man. Bad luck though. Further back, just watching a little bit of Morgan McCall having a little dice with Mac van der Merwe. And Morgan McCall's gone into the pits, so he's getting the damage out the way, and he's going to run long. So strategy's coming into play. Morgan McCall in the pits, Ryan Ottens in the pits. So some quick people in the pits. And let's see if the undercut now works over this 80 minutes. So, 20 minutes, almost 20 minutes. Done. Johannes Kralin out in the lead here for Celeritas Racing. JW Fullscreen hanging on to him. That gap is 2 seconds. Kieran Pedersen 1.8 seconds back in third place. Then we have Peter Westhuizen in fourth place for BWR. and Mac van der Merwe rounding out your top 5 for KSR Vibe Squad. However, right behind him, we've got Brandon Kruger and Jason Mcgregor. Aston Martin's going hammer and tongs here. Tina and Corby, here he is in 10th place, having a huge dice, just ahead of Bernard King. So Tina and Corby, who qualified I think 15th or somewhere, up into the top 10, and pedaling for all it's worth. Just behind Sean Skitter there. Sechaba Mashigo, here he is in the Porsche. He's also doing well, up into 13th place in the little Porsche. Paul Haber for Team Tryhard Racing in 14th place in the BMW, and then Jason Luck in his Porsche, having had a horrible start to his race and having to clear a drive-through. Right, let's go up here, Brandon Kruger. Brandon Kruger into 5th place, so Mac van der Merwe's lost a position there. Brandon Kruger getting past the BMW, and Mac now coming under pressure from the charging Jason Mcgregor. Look behind as well, Jay LaRue coming along for the Polizia. This is Team Hawks Racing, and the Rosas, as I like to call them, and he's doing really well in the Police McLaren, up into 8th place, and Sean Skitter's coming with him. So this now turning into a 5-way battle for 5th place. Bernard King on the back of Tina and Corby, doing a send down into T1. Tight through T1. Tina and Corby turns in, and that's a pass by Burnsy. So Kinetic Simworks Racing Talk, they make up a place, and Bernard King goes into 10th place. Sean Skitter pedaling the Lexus round here and doing very good. He does like this car and has stuck with it for a good few months now. He's obviously very in touch with the handling and characteristics. And as you can see, the gaps up ahead, this is all for position. So here we have Mac van der Merwe in 6th place, just behind Brandon Kruger, and Mac van der Merwe in 6th place. He's got Jason Mcgregor right behind him, LaRue right behind him, and Skitter right behind him. So it's 6 down to 10th place. It's a train of cars here. Vibe Squad, the KSR liveries are also good, I must say. Cars look super professional out there. Outstanding effort by the teams. Tina and Corby challenging for that 10th place with Burnsy again. Bernard King. He's not letting that go, and he's trying hard to take that position back. Down at the bottom end of the circuit, through the hairpin they go, and now the long climb back up. Good evening, Nathaniel. Thanks for joining us on the YouTube channel, and thanks very much for the kind words. I'll try and keep you up to date on. Ooh, just ahead, LaRue loses it in the McLaren. That was a massive tank slap, and he's under a bunch of pressure. He's now out on the marbles. He's in the sand. And Bernard King goes through, and Tina and Corby goes through. So LaRue in the Ros's McLaren loses 2 places in the middle of the track there, sector 2. Did well to catch it and not turn the car around, but he was struggling there. Jason Mcgregor right under the tail of Mac van der Merwe's BMW as they come into T1, hard braking into T1. There's a massive concertina effect that happens there. Obviously it caught out a few people in on the first lap. Oh, look at that BM of Mac van der Merwe's. He's running super wide there, and if he kept his foot in it, he's going to get a track warning for that for sure. Right, hour left, so guys have been going for 20 minutes. It's been a lot of racing and a lot of position changes already in the first 20 minutes. Some pit stops, as you can see down at the bottom of the timing screens. Those with green bars next to their name, their compulsory pit stop is done. So they're going to attempt to drive back from down there, and that includes the likes of McCall, Connor Alexander and Justin Lotus. Gaps kind of developing up and down the field now. The gap's growing between the cars. This one's still pretty close here between McGregor, van der Merwe and Skitter just behind in the Lexus. Kieran Patterson has gone past Volschenk and up into second place. We just missed that somewhere. Oh, McGregor, watch this. Into the... Oh, there's not a place to try and go through there side by side. That always ends in tears. But McGregor putting Van der Merwe under a lot of pressure. We'll do a lap from the helmet view. And I'll give you a clean screen so we can see all the action here. Into the Mercedes complex they come. That BM running wide again there. Early brake for this. Sharp left-handed, then flicker to the right. Quick left. Now a little dab on the brakes. Change down. Quick right. Down the hill to the hairpin. Into sector 2. Oh, the BM running a bit on the grass there. He's all over the place, is Van der Merwe. And he's wide through the hairpin. Aston Martin's right here now. Now they're coming up the hill. This is the Schumacher SEs. Got to ride the curb here. Don't hit the sand. Go over the curb. That's good. He's close. He's right under the wing of the BMW. Now heading down to the chicane. And if you get a good drive here, which it looks like he has, is he going to pull out? He is. They go side by side into the chicane. Oh, he thinks twice. Much better to single file through there. Now gets a drive into the last turn. Hard on the brakes. The BMW outbrakes himself and the Aston Martin goes through. And that was some intelligent driving there by Mcgregor. Mac van der Merwe running a little deep and now he's defending hard against Sean Skitter in the Lexus. Sean Skitter next to him. Oh, and they make contact into the braking zone. Sean Skitter trying to go around the outside and he's got it right. So poor old Mac van der Merwe has gone back 2 positions here. So some solid hard elbows out racing there by everybody. Great to watch. St. John, yeah, you might have a point there. JW letting Patterson go past to try and chase down Crayland. It's also for Patterson running first in the points at the moment, so a little bit of team orders, I think. I will remain mute here. I have no input in what the team does, and I don't make any calls on their racing arrangements. So it's all good. Right, Mac van der Merwe, I'm sticking with him because he's right here. Trying to hang on to Skitter's Lexus. Right, down to 17th quickly. Morgan McCall. He was 7/10 on the back of De Villiers and now he's at 1.9 seconds, so he had a problem somewhere. Let's go back 30 seconds. Okay, so what happened here through the chicane? Chicane or last turn. Morgan has a moment here somewhere. Oh, he does. Oh, he runs through too deep. Cleans it up. Doesn't turn the car around, so good stuff. That's what grew that gap. So he'll keep on trying. Right, back up ahead. Jason Mcgregor in 6th place at the moment. There he is. Just behind we can see Sean Skitter now getting a little bit of a gap between himself and Mac van der Merwe. So these currently the closest. It's not. It's Tina and Corby. Yeah, he is. He's. Oh no, they were going past somebody in the pit. What is happening here? It's Mac van der Merwe. Oh, here he is. Running a little wide there, so he's got to be aware of that and possibly getting track cuts. I'll now kind of repeat it, but watch towards the end of this race. Drive-throughs will pop up and a DT next to a driver's name is because you've gone off track one too many times. Yeah, Sean, it was a great pass. Good effort going on there by Mcgregor, Skitter. Poor old Mac got put under a pile of pressure and outbraked himself, and great pass happening there. Okay, let me give you some updates on the leaders and what's going on. Johannes Krailing at the moment is 1.8 seconds up the road. There is Patterson just behind him. Last laps, Johannes Krailing a 155.9, Patterson a 155.6, Volskink a 155.7, and then Peter Westhuizen and Brandon Kruger 156.2 and 156.5. So Patterson at the moment got the quickest time on track, a 154.6, and he is busy closing or trying to close down that gap to Krailing. Nice clean lines all the way through the Mercedes complex by Krailing. He's also very in touch with the BMW and its handling characteristics. And good lap times. 55.0 his last lap. His best was a 55.0 in fact. So he's now picked up the pace to try and keep the delta back to Patterson. any of the drivers doing a 50-50 pit strat, we should expect the pit lane to light up 40 minutes into the race with 40 minutes left, obviously. So that is 13 and a half minutes away. Also, just to remind you, don't forget to click on the like button, thumbs up please, and subscribe if you haven't already. Plus, I'm submitting or transmitting at 13 megs a second, so you can go and increase your quality, and you can bump it all the way up to 1440p 60 HD. It's crystal clear. It looks like you're watching the race live. So I hope you're enjoying the quality. And oh, look at that. Krayling had a moment through there, and Patterson has closed in huge amount, down to 1.2 from 1.8 the previous lap. Krayling did a 155.4 and Patterson a 154.8. He was over half a second quicker. So you can see how he's closing in on him. Morgan McCall in the pits. I'm not too sure if he has retired the car, or he might have, in fact. He's only on 12 laps, so he's 2 laps back now. So that's bad luck for Morgan to be retiring the car. Obviously not happy with it. Sorry, Rob. Sorry, Morgs. Right, Sean Skitter, here he is in the Lexus, and he's 1.2 seconds off the back of Mcgregor. Rest of the gaps all the way up the up and down the timing tower, pretty big. Patterson, however, closing in on Krayling. Bertus, there you are. Why are you not racing this evening, sir? Alright, on board with Patterson, looking ahead, that gap now sub 1 second. So Krayling indeed starting to feel the pressure. And there's a back marker just up the road, as we can see. Gap now down to 3 tenths, 4 tenths. Now the man's feeling the pressure. He's going to have to run defensive all the way around this track. Patterson hunting, looking now for a way past. Through the Mercedes complex they go. Oh, and the Mercedes gets a tank slapper. Patterson gets next to him, but he's on the outside. Trying to go around the outside. They're side by side. Patterson will have the apex now for the next turn. Great respect being shown here by both cars. And down the hill they go to the hairpin with Patterson on the inside for the hairpin. That BM's quick in a straight line. Look at that. Late braking now. Oh, that's good racing by both drivers. There's a proud mom. And Patterson comes up the hill, and that pass is now done and dusted. He should slowly now egg out a bit of a gap between him and Krayling. Ah, working. Bad luck, Bertus. Well, all good, man. Right, just dropping back a little bit. Brandon Kruger, he's within a second now of Jason Mcgregor, with Sean Skitter right behind him, also within a second. So these three for 5th, 6th, 7th closing up. Oh, wee. Brandon Kruger certainly pushing the envelope with the Aston through that chicane. And there we got a car in the pits in the background. So one of the KSR cars in for an early pit. It's Mac van der Merwe from 8th. So he's the first of the main people to pit. And he's a good 8.5 minutes ahead of his normal schedule. Possibly carrying a little bit of damage. And there's LaRue and Volsking, Conrad Volsking. So the pit lane starts lighting up as expected. Krayling hanging on here. He's only 3/10 off the back of Patterson. So going well. Last laps Patterson a 1:56.5. Krayling a 57.2. JW Volsking a further 3.5 seconds back for PWSR Bravo. Then Peter Oosthuizen for BWR Black Widow in 4th, and Jason Mcgregor hanging on here to 5th place for Hybrid Academy ZA. Hybrid Academy leading in the manufacturer's points. So this is good stuff for Jason Mcgregor. Brandon Kruger putting on a big challenge here for Kinetic Simworks Racing Prism team. But Sean Skitter, look at him go. And he is closing up in the Lexus, I might add. Yeah, boy, Trilogy ZA, how's it? Yeah, you missed a little bit of drama at the start of the race, unfortunately, and the ATK car has retired to the pits. Morg's having a bit of a problem through the first couple of corners, and had a little bit of damage, 15 seconds give or take, but he wasn't happy with the car's handling. Here comes Skitter down into T1. He's looking, decides against it anyway, and unfortunately Morg's not happy with how the car's handling, and he's gone into the pits, man. So unfortunate for the ATK challenger. Justin Lotus, let's go down here to 13th place. Justin Lotus, also part of the Hybrid Academy team, and he is closing in on the back of Mac van der Merwe. This gap 1.5 seconds at the moment, but closing. BMWs racing each other. Justin had a very early pit stop, so he's running at least an hour on those tires. .5 minutes left of this 80-minute race of this round 7 of season 9 of the Raceface.Pro GT3 Championship. And thanks to our sponsors, Resource Complete, 95 Liveries, Speed Labs, DS Films, and PWSR, all contributing towards bringing this this coverage to you live. Big announcements soon for the Raceface.Pro Endurance Series, which everybody's itching to hear about. And I can tell you, there's going to be a couple of there's going to be some exciting news there, some big races. Never mind these little 9-hour numbers. We're talking an endurance series, so watch this space. We should have some info out in the next couple of days. Right, Patterson in the lead at the moment. He is in fact lapping that's his teammate. It's actually the Bravo teammate. That's Connor Alexander, who he's going past in the other PWSR Bravo BMW. And Krayling having to deal with that. Connor pulls over nice and smartly and lets Krayling carry on with his race in second place. Dropping back to Brandon Kruger as we see Sechaba Mashigo come into the pits with the Porsche from 9th place. Now these guys are getting super close here. If you look, Skitter 4/10 off the back of Kruger, 7/10 off the back of Mcgregor. So all of them having little issues here and there, and but oh, look at Skitter in the Lexus. Oh, he almost outbraked himself. I think he missed his braking point completely there. Gee, that was close. Sean Skitter almost flying into the back of Brandon Kruger. I reckon Brandon Kruger's eyes were like saucers there for a moment. Right, now's the time when you got to make a decision. Are you being held up? And if so, get in the pits. We're on the 50-50 pit window as far as strats go. So we shall see shortly if Brandon Kruger thinks the better of it and decides to bring the Aston in. Oh, he almost ran into the back of Mcgregor there. Oh, sorry for getting all loud and emotional, but damn, that was close. Oh, he actually had to turn left to avoid hitting him. So I think he almost outbraked himself. That was a little bit of a panic station right there. And Brandon Kruger, his heartbeat must currently be in the 160s. Bernard Bernsey King in 16th. Let's go and see what's going on here. Kinetic Simworks closing in on De Villiers in the big Nissan. And Bernard just goes sailing by. Much quicker pace with fresh tyres and all, and De Villiers still needing to pit. Back to 7th place, Sean Skitter. Racing Team Astra in the Lexus. 41 minutes and some change left in this race. We'll go to helicopter cam and see the Lexus's drive down the straight, hanging on to the back of the Aston Martin as they head down to T1. Guys need to focus on their braking points here. Sean Skitter having a little bit of a look. And look, there's the Concertini effect. They close right up into T1. Bertus. So, Bernsey King and Daniel De Villiers teammates. Yeah, really? Bernard King in Kinetic Simworks Racing and Daniel De Villiers for Team Destiny, whatever. What do you mean teammates? You're working too hard again, Bertus. Skitter going down the hill in the Lexus. Again, late braking down into the hairpin and trying to put Brandon Kruger under pressure. Now they climb up the hill and the Lexus has good drive up here. They come through the Schumacher chicane. SEs. It must be frustrating. These guys are going flat sticks. They're driving as best as they can, and that gap just stays constant. It's all about the other driver making a subtle mistake, which allows the guy behind to close in. Oh, and there's a little bit of a mistake. Kruger, he did bounce over that chicane a little bit. Oh, and now Skitter, he runs deep and gets a little bit of a tank slapper going. And he loses time. Let's go ahead to Brandon Kruger, who is closing in on Mcgregor now. Looking down to T1 into the braking zone. Okay, so Mr. De Villiers, Daniel De Villiers, needs to update his team name. And clearly his livery, because he's been running that white and pink and purple Nissan for the whole season. Right, we're into the second half of the race. 38 minutes left. Pedersen in the lead by 3 seconds over Kralin. Volkswagen 5.5 seconds back in third. Westhuizen and Mcgregor rounds out your top 5. The top 9, well, Gerber's in the pits now, so he's pitting. Top 8 still need to pit, as well as the long-lasting Nissan of De Villiers down in 15th. This currently the closest gap on track at the moment, but we'll have a look and see what's happening with the other cars. Also interesting, everybody's got their, well, the second half of the field that have pitted. Oh, there's the trouble. There it is. Mcgregor runs wide, gets the Aston Martin into the sand, and Kruger goes sailing past. We'll see the replay of that. Oh, that's been a huge problem for him. And Sean Skitter's closing in as well. Once the into the chicane, and he's gone through in the chicane. No, he hasn't. So the Aston's gone into the pits. So Kruger and Skitter go through for 5th and 6th respectively. Mcgregor deciding it's time for pits, and he brings the Aston in. So what I was, as is Kralin from 3rd place. What I wanted to say now. None of the pro guys here yet. We haven't seen any stop-go 30s for speeding into the pit lane, and this is just as tricky a pit lane limiter. The pit lane board is around the hairpin and then a ways up into the pits. So the guys can speed up, and then they've all got to brake hard and hit the pit limiter. So we'll see if any of these top guys mistakenly miss their pit lane limiter and any stop goes crop up. McGregor's rolling. Here he comes out the pits, clear, no penalties. Janus Kralin, the net leader of the pitted cars, in 7th place. Here he is. McGregor's a good 16 something seconds further back. Pedersen into the pits. Here we'll see. You go all the way up to that line there, and that's where the pit limit is. So he did well to slow down right at the end there. Here comes Volkswagen as well. There's the board, and they've got to stop by that line. If they go over that line, penalty. Brandon Kruger, he braked early and then had to second brake, so he gets it at the second board. So 1st, 2nd and 5th place into the pits. Chicane Corby, he comes in. Let's see if he gets the braking. He does. There it is. Good man. It's always worthwhile to try and watch there, because that's mostly where the people get their penalties from. Right, so Peter Westhuizen currently in the lead for Black Widow Racing, and behind him Sean Skitter. Them the last two besides Daniel De Villiers that still need to pit. In 16th place, Paul Gerber here on the back of Sechaba Mashigo's Porsche. So at last we're getting some dicing here. And Sechaba looking up ahead at the Nissan of De Villiers as well. And this for position, although De Villiers hasn't pitted yet, but Mashigo and Gerber, they are racing for position. Kruger very late on the brakes on the BMW. Mcgregor right under the wing of the Nissan, which has some immense straight line speed. And look at the BMW Kruger. Sechaba runs defensive. He's got to close off there on the inside. Kruger decides to go left into the braking zone. Sechaba sending it up the inside. Makes a bit of contact with the Nissan. And gets the pass done with a little bit of contact, but all okay. The BM running wide and out on the AstroTurf there, so Kruger having to watch out for that. So a bit of racing going on down the field here. Pedersen somehow comes out the pits behind Kruger in the BMW. So that's some interesting tactic happening there. Kruger got a very super fast pit stop done, and he managed to come out ahead of Pedersen. So this gap currently 8/10, and we'll see how Kruger can deal with this now with new tires. Possibly there was a refueling that occurred there. Carrot, how's it? Good to see you, buddy. Thanks for dropping in. Psycho Sheep. And we're 31 minutes and some change away from the end of this race. It was a dramatic first lap as expected. And I'm sure the stewards, there'll be some incident reports to be dealt with. But that's for a week's time. Sean Skitter, and here he comes. Nails his pit limiter there. So he comes in, last man to pit. He comes in, and here comes second and third place. Through sector 2 into sector 3. And the last way is coming up the hill through the last chicane and the hairpin onto the start finish line. So Skitter having to refuel or not change tires. Not sure exactly. I always get confused what's compulsory and what isn't. No, refueling's compulsory, I think. Tires is not compulsory, but you can't really run these cars. Well, you can, but the tires go off. So I think everyone's doing tire changes. There's Skit in the pits. He hasn't moved, and so these two go back into first place. Right, where's third place? He comes through, so JW Volsking back into third. Peter Oosthuizen. Yeah, he comes with Brandon Kruger right behind him. And Skitter's rolling out the pit lane. There they go past him. So Skitter's lost a bit of time by the late pit stop. And here we see this is Oosthuizen, Kruger, and Mac van der Merwe right now for 5th, 6th, and 7th place. So big dice going on right here. Pedersen closing in again on the back of Kruger. That gap sub a second, 5/10 down into the hairpin. Oh, sorry, Rob. Bad luck there, man. So 21 seconds. Jason Mcgregor all over the back of Sean Skitter's Lexus right now. Gee, a lot of pressure right here. Mcgregor once passed and Skitter having to defend with that Lexus. No, Skitter getting a good drive, and they start lap 26. Kieran Patterson close now, right under the wing and looking. He's trying to now get into Krayling's mind here. Krayling's watching his mirrors. Down to the hip and they come. Krayling running defensive. He goes up the inside. Now swings back out into the braking and round the hip and they go. Oh, Patterson gets a good drive out of the hairpin. He can't do it through this chicane. He's going to have to wait. De Villiers finally pits in the Nissan. So last man to pit. Mr. Berries, thanks for joining us, man. It's the infamous Ryan Barrington Smith on the YouTube channel. Legendary man from our other racing league at LNR. Right, into the chicane they come. And Patterson having to... He's still got 26 minutes and some change, so he's just going to think about it. Just keep the pressure on and see how Krayling puts up with that. Looking further back, Mac van der Merwe here. Oh, he was close off the back of Skitter. He's now lost a bit of time. I'm sorry, off Kruger. So Skitter's lost a bit of time off Mac van der Merwe. So Mcgregor, Skitter having to run a defensive line here. McGregor's following him into T1. Oh, thanks, Bertus. So you've got to put in a minimum of 1 litre of fuel. So I'm convinced there was a bit of refueling going on with that change with that pit stop with Krayling and Patterson. Krayling was definitely out quicker. Let's go back there actually. Down to through the bottom of the track, up through the chicane they come. And Patterson 3/10 off the back of Krayling. Just following him in his footsteps. Rob, I wonder if there's any news or info you can give us on Morgs's teammate by any chance, or is that still in the research and discovery stages, or have they found somebody? And if so, who is it, or can you let us know or not? For everyone else, oh, Daniel, today was no luck for me. Bad luck, buddy. You're doing well in the Nissan there, but yeah, tough, man. Okay, this currently the dice for first place, so we're just sticking with this for now. But I am watching the deltas up and down the timing screen. Sean Skitter closing in again on Mac van der Merwe. All three of them, in fact. So this race is going to go flag to flag for sure. This is going to possibly develop into a four-way dice for 5th place, because Brandon Kruger is not that far up the road. He's only 2 seconds clear of Mac van der Merwe. So, and these three are coming at a speed. Right, so Bertus giving updates on the championship positions already. If Kieran Patterson finishes first or second tonight, he will be the new season or series champion, which is great news for him and for PWSR. But I think we've got to obviously just ride out a week here and see if there's any incident reports that get lodged. I don't know, I can't recall if he was possibly caught up in anything on T1 and the complex. But anyway. Yeah, berries, definitely. Sean Scutter, he comes and goes, man. I've been watching him. But Mcgregor as well, he closes in and then they get into a dice and then there's a bit of panic braking and then the gap grows to 2 seconds again. So it's been doing this all evening. Right now it's super close. Before the pit stops, this was a similar picture, and then Mac van der Merwe had a huge drama, and he lost 2 positions in literally 2 corners. So these guys definitely on it and dicing hard. Sean Scutter pushing the Lexus quickly, but he's bringing McGregor with him. Here we go. Now Mac van der Merwe running defensive. Oh, these guys super close now. Alright. Oh, you can't do this into the chicane. Oh, they're trying to go side by side. That's not going to work. And everybody falls back into position. That's great racing, boys. Guys are having fun out there. Thankfully, nobody spun around there. But gee whiz, you cannot go into that chicane side by side. It's just going to end in tears. Scutter looking now, and the BMW runs defensive into T1. Hard on the brakes. Scutter trying to undercut now. Drives off the cliff there. Oh, does a send. Almost gets up the side of the BMW. Now the BMW's out. Is Scutter up the inside? He's trying. He is now, but he's on the outside of this corner. And the BM's hanging on. Oh, now Scutter far too wide. Now they're 3 abreast. Here comes McGregor. So Mac van der Merwe's again gone backwards. He's dropped 2 positions in 1 corner. The guys are fighting here hard. Oh, a little bit of a tap onto that Aston, but gee, how was that for a bit of a dice session going through the Mercedes complex? Exactly right. Jeez. Guys are all over each other there. Good little bit of elbows out, hammering and bumping, and then everyone fell back into position. Right, up the hill they come, and a little bit of a gap developing again. Well, Mac van der Merwe probably thinks everyone's out to bully him this evening, but he's had an awesome night and good racing. So Kieran Patterson has possibly heard that commentary, or somebody's told him on the live stream that if he comes first or second, he's going to win the championship, because the gap is now growing between him and Kralin. So he seems to be settling for that second place. Right, we'll give these guys about 5 minutes just to get their breath, and we'll guaranteed come back here and they'll be all over each other again. So Kieran Patterson 2.5 seconds back. Last lap times. Krayling a 155.5, Patterson a 157.7. So unless he had a huge drama somewhere, or he's literally picked his foot up, let's wait and see. Still 18 minutes to go. It's looking a little bit ragged, so possibly this whole, if he does know what Bertus has said about the championship, it might have got into his head a little bit. So hopefully he doesn't do anything silly or causes any dramas. We'll see as they come over the line what this lap time is. Krayling a 55.7 and Patterson a 55.2. Alright, so he is going again. Possibly he had a problem, or there was a slow marker, or he just had an issue. We shall keep our eyes peeled and watch the lap times. Justin Lotus here in 9th place. He had a little bit of drama at the beginning of the race. Went right to the back of the grid, I think, and has slowly driven back from there. Let's go to Jason Mcgregor. Here we go. Into T1, and he was under the wing of Skitter's Lexus, so they've closed up again. Yeah, McGregor putting the pressure again for Hybrid Academy ZA. We're down to just under 16 minutes left. Oh, and Sean Skitter runs deep there. We missed that apex completely, and that's allowed McGregor almost up the inside. This is what these guys have been doing all evening. So good racing going on here. Awesome to watch and spectate. Right, so Patterson, he obviously had a drama somewhere. He is closing back down on Krayling. The gap coming down 1.7 seconds again. So hopefully he does drive for the pass and the win. And there we see in the background Mac van der Merwe fallen right off the back of these guys, 3 seconds back. So he did have fun, but I think that's his day done. However, McGregor looking at Skitter here. Single file through the chicane, please, lads. Oh, and Sean Skitter blows the braking marker. And the pass happens. McGregor gets inside Sean Skitter's head. He missed that braking marker by miles. There he is. Yeah, we missed that. So, McGregor goes up and takes the position. He goes into 6th place. 5.5 seconds off the back of Brandon Kruger, who they were all racing with just now. So, we'll see if he can close that in. Sean Skitter, on the other hand, is going to try and just get his head back into the game, if he can, and hang on to the back of this Aston. Chicane and Kobe, here he is, healthily in the top 10, in 10th place. Started a ways down, I think 15th or 16th, so a couple of retirements, but that has helped him, and he kept his nose clean and is in the top 10. Justin Lotus a couple of seconds up the road from him, and Tina in turn 6.8 seconds up the road from Conrad Fulskink in the Roses. Here he is, Hawks Polizia, and that's his teammate LaRue right behind him. So the team is at the moment running 11th and 12th on track. Bernard Benzie King for Kinetic Simworks Racing Talk in 13th place, not too far off the back of LaRue. And And Jason Luck in 14th place after having a eventful race drive-through that he picked up at the start of the race on the pace lap. That didn't help his cause, but he is in 14th place. Setshaba Mashigo in his Porsche, here he comes. He's 3.5, 4 seconds off the back of, 9 seconds off the back of Jason Luck. And Connor Alexander, team PWSR Bravo, the teammate for JW, the development driver, our development youngster. This kid is, I think, 17, and this is his 5th or 6th race in ACC, but struggling here this evening. At least he's still running, so that's good. Daniel on YouTube saying Tina's your rival. So cool, good to know, and we'll monitor that for the last round at Silverstone. Silverstone next week. Oh, Burnsy King into the pits. That's an interesting issue. He's obviously not happy with something, or he didn't have enough fuel in the car, or I don't know. Right, Kieran Patterson, let's go and see. He's not closing in. Gap still 1.8 seconds, so I think he's just going to drive around for second place. And Krayling will take the win. Fullskank 6 seconds back. So PWSR Alpha and Bravo in second and third place. Oosthuizen for BWR in 4th. And Brandon Kruger, here he is. Good 5 seconds clear now of Mcgregor for Kinetic Simworks Racing. So good drive for him. Yeah, Jason inherited position now, actually. He also swears by the Porsche. He's been very happy with this car. And it's a good car on some tracks. Some tracks it's an absolute donkey, but Jason likes the handling. He knows how the car works and runs pretty well with the car. Alright, Kieran Patterson now gets super close again. Has he just been resting? What is this kid doing? Now the gap down from 1.8 to almost half a second less. So Krayling either had a moment or Patterson's just been chilling and resting. But here we go with 10 minutes left. He's now on full charge again. Burns had a crash, so he's gone into the pits and I don't think he's coming back out. So that's the end of Bernard King's challenge. Down to 17 cars now. We were running a good field earlier. I had 23 or 24, possibly more actually. Oh, the BM's in trouble. Krayling struggling through the chicane there, and that's allowed Patterson right under the wing. And if he gets a good drive here into T1, I think we're going to see the overtake. Krayling already covering T1 down the inside. He's up against the pit wall, middle of the track. Patterson moves back, now moves back, now moves back. Hard braking, and into the Mercedes complex they go. Krayling's watching his mirrors now. Right, through sector 1. Off they go down the hill towards the hairpin now. Into sector 2. And Patterson carries a lot of pace through here going down to the hairpin. And Krayling going to have to run a defensive line down here. And Patterson going to have to go the long way around. Oh, there's a whole lot of movement going on there. Patterson goes up the inside. They're side by side. Krayling outbraked himself a little bit, but he does have the apex coming up to the Schumacher chicane. Kieran Pedersen getting right into his head now. And Flashing is seriously trying to rattle Kralen's cage. Eight minutes left. So the best part of 4-5 laps. Some good racing happening here. I am looking at the deltas, but this at the moment... Alright, we've got Tina and Kulby closing in on Justin Lotus. The BM hammering over the chicane again, and the Aston. Guys, got to be careful for getting off tracks and possibly a penalty. Okay, we'll come back to this. Let's go and look at Tina. Okay, that gap's grown a little bit now. Sean Skitter within a second almost of the back of Jason Mcgregor as they come to start their 37th lap. Back to the leaders. And here we go again, down to the hairpin. Now I think Kralen's got enough of a gap. Yes, Lisa. This is a very proud mama that's also watching. Right, here they come to the chicane. Oh, you cannot do this here. Oh, Kralen covers. Oh, slowly. Bit of movement happening as they come into the braking zones there, but no harm, no foul. I think it was a little bit of a tip-top. On they go. Right, 5.5 minutes. If Pedersen's going to get past, he's got to make this a solid, clean pass now. And he's got to work out how to get this done. Oh, Daniel, you're not going to race Silverstone. What's wrong there? The Nissan should be super quick round there. Or you're on business. Here we go down to the hairpin. Pedersen's on the outside and trying to go round the outside. Kralen sending in the long way around. Up through the chicane they come. Lap times 55.7 and Kralen a 56.1. So he's feeling the pressure. Right, up they come towards the chicane. Pit window closed, so nobody can pit, but everyone's done their pit window. Pedersen on the outside. Oh, a little bit of contact there. He keeps his foot in it, and I think that's going to put paid to that challenge. Let's go a little bit back and look at Sean Skitter. Sean Skitter, 6/10 now off the back of Jason Mcgregor. 3.5 minutes left. this isn't over. Even with 3 minutes left, these guys will still get at least this plus another lap in. And Sean Skitter closing in on Jason Mcgregor right here. The Lexus showing good pace at the longer runs. And Jason McGregor is going to be watching his mirrors for sure. Race time at 7:23 p.m. so it's going dusk. You can see it's getting dark now. Won't be night time, but it is early evening here. Cars have lights on. Paul Gerber in 16th place. Let's go and look quickly. He's having a big dice with Connor. I think Connor's actually just gone past him. Yeah, Martinez agreed. There was a lot of movement happening there, so oh, and another little bit of squirrely tank slapper for the BMW. You can see how they've closed up behind. Volkskank gets the gap down to 2.5 seconds. Patterson 1.7 seconds off the back of Kralin with 1.5 minutes left. So on their last lap. Yeah, Sinjin, there won't be a change between Patterson and Volkskank because Patterson's higher up on the championship log. So track position will remain. It's not going to let JW go past him. And according to Bertus, if they stay like this and he takes second place, he'll win this championship. So we'll wait to see. There's still going to be some incident reports possibly. But just watching Kralin go round, and then hopefully he gets it to the finish line. There we go, final corner for Johannes Kralin. He comes over the line to take the win here at Nurburgring. And they did change there. So Patterson, did he have a problem there? Let's just go back and see what happens here. Oh, alright. See, I have no clue what this team does, but yeah, Patterson does indeed slow down, and that's allowed JW to take the position. There it happens. So this is all going to play for in Silverstone by the looks of things. Thanks for the update there. So there we have it. Kralin, Volkskank, Patterson, Oosthuizen and Kruger. That's your top 5 for this evening. Some very good hard racing going on there, and some awesome dices that we managed to watch as the rest of the field comes through. Tina and Colby gets 9th, Justin Lotus 10th, so Tina and Colby made the pass, so good race for him, and that's how everyone else finishes. So there we go. Thanks to everybody for coming around and joining us here this evening. We will see you in a week's time when we come to you from Silverstone for the last round. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, man. I don't have the points sheets with me. I don't do the sums. I just film them, and there we go. So Thanks for the feedback there, buddy. Thanks to everybody on the YouTube channel for joining me, and that's it for this evening. We'll play out with the awesome video from DS Films, and we'll catch up with you in a week's time. Cheers.